now we have another wine. This was given to me right before the shoot today. It is, oh, my pronunciation is going to really be bad here. Ohitsa Iruligi, 2005. The reason there's a Z in it is it's from Basque Country, which is kind of hugs the border of Spain, and Iruligi is in southwest France. I think Iruligi is one of the greatest regions for red wine values, even though there's probably only 10 great estates and the rest is all made by a local cooperative. Iruligi is astonishing, really, really astonishing. The main grape is Tannat, and usually there's going to be a little bit of Cabernet Franc or Cabernet Sauvignon in it. Tannat, as by the name, is very tannic, no question about it. And Iruligis, or Iruligis, it's kind of hard to pronounce, excuse me. Iruligis are, how could I say, rustic, honest wines that'll go well with anything on the table, no question about it. They age beautifully, and the reason I think they're not priced as high as something qualitatively should be is because there is definitely a rusticity to them that most people won't like. You know, there is a polish to wines that are higher priced usually. This definitely does not have any of that polish in any way, shape, or form. Oh yeah. Now, if I thought this was funky, this is 10 times more funky. This is definitely, you know, what if a horse shit in the woods and no one was there to pick it up? It would smell like this. It's fantastic. I mean, and you would smell it too. I mean, it's horse manure, but there's some good fruit to it. There's good mineral. There's a little bit of mint. There's a little bit of menthol. I mean, there's lots of different things going on the nose, but the overwhelming aroma is of like a nice field of manure, which is not that bad. Maybe after a fresh rain, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, we all secretly like the smell of our own farts, but not that this wine smells like a fart. Let me just, I don't want to get this into a ridiculous fart smelling competition. But here we go. Wow, absolutely delicious. You know why this is delicious? This is the first wine that has incredibly vivid fruit out of all three of these. You know, the other two are good wines, and I will go back to them before I go to the whites, but there's definitely wonderful, vivid, rich red fruits there that are incredibly focused, incredibly pure. I really, really like it, and it's juicy. Juicy, but saying that the acidity in the wine keeps the vibrancy of the flavors in your mouth for a long time about it. And here's the crazy thing. I just said all this stuff, oh, Iruligis are tannic, yada, 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 but actually this wine doesn't really have big burly tannins. I would probably serve this one, if I knew and tasted them before, I'd probably serve this one after. The tannins are very sleek, very pearly almost, and they really are ripe, and you barely notice them. I mean, they're there, they have a dryness on the finish, but they're absolutely, you know, really, really astonishing, and I would not expect that at all. Completely not expect that at all. And this is, you know, and I don't think this wine would age that long either. I think it's really, you're drinking well right now, and maybe for the next 3 to 5 years it would age. Yummy, delicious, red fruited. It almost kind of reminds me of a lighter style of Zinfandel from California. I know that's really crazy, but it definitely reminds me of a lighter style of Zinfandel from California. And that the fruit is jammy, but it's not overripe in any way. And now what I'm going to do is retaste all the wines, because one thing that critics really don't do that I notice is retaste the wines and revisit them, because wine is, especially, you know, two out of these three are natural wines. Well, they could potentially all be natural wines, but I don't know anything about this Potier stuff. But one thing you have to taste with these wines is that, or notice about these wines, is they're going to constantly be opening and improving. There's going to be more aromatic complexity. There's going to be more fruit on the palate. There's going to be, you know, more structure. Who knows? So it really pays to go taste them, because your initial impression sometimes is a good snapshot, but usually is probably 70–80% accurate. You know, wine could completely change. You never know. All right, so this is the first wine again. This is the Côte Rouennaise, $10, which, you know, seems to be a killer value. But one thing I noticed is it's really become incredibly floral on the nose. You know, kind of like a light rose floral thing, which is very, very precise, which is really, really uncommon for a wine of $10. Usually you're going to get kind of a mixed jumble of all 5 or 6 not too precise aromas. This thing is just very precise, it's very floral, it's got lots of roses to it. Let's see if I got a little more fruit in the palate. I'm looking for maybe 10% more fruit, then this wine goes down as a great value. But if I don't get that 10% more fruit, it's an okay value, and I'm sure like a roast chicken would really, really improve it. So let's see. This wine's a good value. 10.1%. I mean, it was right on the cusp, but absolutely fantastic. Beautiful purity, great fruit to it. There's one thing though, there's a little bit of heat right now, which is alcoholic warmth, which I consider one of the worst flaws in any type of wine. That's starting to show itself. And I would not have noticed this alcoholic warmth if I just tasted it and then moved on to the next wine. So basically, more fruit, more aroma, a little bit more alcohol. So who knows where that wine's going to go. And I'm going to retaste the Catherine and Pierre Breton Franc de Pierre Bourgogne right now and see what's going on with this. And you can notice the color on this wine is so much darker than the Cote Brouillonnaise right there before. That's Cabernet Franc in the Loire Valley. Always has a dark color. Although it thins out a little bit as it ages, but young Cabernet Franc, really, really dark. More fruit, more earth, and then one of my favorite aromas in all of wine. Dry to wet moss. Yeah, I know it's specific, and I know I'm kind of being, wonkish and specific about it, but dry and wet moss is something I really like, in wine. It's nothing really scientific, it's nothing really anything about it. I like it. You may not. Wine is astonishing. It's juicy, it's ripe, it's coming into more to balance. There's a great delineation of flavor, hierarchy of flavor. It kind of just goes right down your palate. Wonderful fruit complexity. The wine is rocking right now. And then the Arulagi. Let's see where this wine is, and then we're going to move on to the whites. Now the Arulagi is changing a little bit more. There's definitely more of a minty, menthol type of kind of wintergreen aroma to it. But there's definitely also a lot of kind of like forest floor, rotting leaves, any of that stuff, which is not bad. I know anything rotting sounds bad, but in the context, I mean, think about it. You walk into a beautiful forest or whatever for a long hike, and there's that wonderful smell, all the great outdoors. What do you think people are smelling? They're smelling rotting leaves. So, and whatever, and animal feces, and who knows, and all that type of stuff. That's the great outdoors, Yeah, there could be mixed in flowers, and it could be mixed in this and that, but that's what they're smelling. So let's see what's going on with this Arulagi. Now, remember what I said before I was introducing the Arulagi? 10, 10, and 10? The tannins are here with a force. My mouth is very dry right now, and the tannins are definitely furry, you could say. Kind of almost like you've bit into a piece of velvet. But the fruit is there, and it's kind of like soaking there, and it's winning the battle versus the tannin. But I have a feeling in around a half hour, this wine's going to be completely clamped down and closed, and there's going to be a lot of tannin. The fruit will still be there, but I definitely think this is on its way to be closing down right now, which is okay. But delicious stuff, very, very good value. All three of these, I believe, are under $20, and they all represent great value across a really, really wide variety of styles. This wine, light, fruity, floral. This wine, big, rich, balanced, pure. And this wine, tannic, red fruits, and just burly, no question about it, Punter, running back, outside linebacker.